Stop everything you are doing right now. I need you to understand something before you watch another second of anything else today. What I'm about to tell you is not a coincidence. This video did not appear on your screen by accident. You did not stumble onto this message because of an algorithm. You are here because I sent for you. I moved in the spiritual realm before the sun came up this morning, and I arranged this moment, this exact moment, so that you would receive what I am about to say directly to your heart. Last night, while you were sleeping, something happened. There was a conversation, a serious one. Words were spoken about you, about your life, your future, your family, your finances, your health, your destiny. And those words were not kind. They were not words of blessing. They were words of strategy, words of scheming, words of darkness spoken by forces that have been studying your life and looking for a way to derail everything I have planned for you. But here is what they did not count on. Here is what they forgot in their arrogance and their schemes. I was listening. I heard every single word, and now I'm speaking to you because what they planned ends today. What they discussed in the darkness will not reach the light of your life. Not on my watch. Not while I am God and you are mine. I need to ask you something before we go any further. Have you felt it lately? That strange, heavy feeling that something is working against you? Have you noticed that the moment things seem to be getting better, something comes out of nowhere to knock you back down? Have you looked around at your life and wondered why it feels like you're fighting battles on every side? Your job, your money, your relationships, your health, and you can't quite put your finger on where the attack is coming from. And have you ever felt, in the quiet of the night, in the stillness of the early morning, like you are being watched? Like something is paying very close attention to every step you take? You were not imagining it. You were feeling what is real. There are forces that have had your name on their lips. There are powers of darkness that have been in conversation about how to stop you, because they know what I know about you. They know what I have placed inside you. They know the calling I have put on your life, the blessing I have been preparing, the breakthrough that is already written in heaven with your name on it, and they are afraid. They are not just opposed to you. They are terrified of what happens when you step fully into what I have for you. So last night they had their conversation. They made their plans. They issued what they believed would be their final move against you. But today I'm issuing mine, and my final word is always greater than theirs. Stay with me through every chapter of this message. Do not close this video. Do not walk away. Every chapter I am about to speak over you contains a layer of revelation that will dismantle what was spoken against you and replace it with what I have declared over your life since before you were born. By the time you reach the end of this message, something in the spiritual realm will have permanently shifted in your favor. Type in the comments, "I received this message. God sent this for me," before we go any further. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do it right now. Click that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. I'm going to keep sending you messages like this one, messages that find you exactly when you need them most. Like this video, share it with someone you love, and let's go deeper together. My dear daughter, I need you to understand something about me that religion sometimes forgets to tell you. I do not sleep. I do not doze. I do not close my eyes for even a fraction of a second and miss what is happening in the world I created. Psalm 121 was not poetry written for comfort alone. It was a declaration of divine reality. I, who watches over you, neither slumbers nor sleeps. That means last night, while your eyes were closed and your body was resting, my eyes were wide open, my attention was fully present, my awareness was completely surrounding you, surrounding your house, surrounding your family, surrounding every detail of your life. And I heard them. I heard the conversation that happened in the spiritual realm about you. I want you to understand the nature of what I am talking about, because this is not a metaphor. This is not symbolic language designed to make you feel good for a few minutes. In the spiritual world, the world that is more real than the physical world your eyes can see, there are forces of darkness that operate with strategy. They are organized. They are deliberate. They study. They observe. They look for patterns, for vulnerabilities, for open doors. And when they identify a person who is close to a breakthrough, a person whose life is on the verge of a transformation that will bring great glory and great blessing, they hold a council. They held one about you last night. I want you to hear what I heard, so that you understand the weight of what I am dismantling for you today. They spoke about your weariness. They noticed how tired you have been. Not just physically tired, but the deep kind of tired that comes from fighting for so long and feeling like the breakthrough keeps getting delayed. They saw the moments when you almost gave up. They saw the nights when the tears came and you were not sure how much longer you could hold on. And in their cruelty, they celebrated those moments because they believed that your weariness was their greatest weapon against you. They spoke about your relationships. They looked at the tension, the misunderstandings, the distance that has grown between you and people you love. They tried to calculate how much more pressure it would take before those bonds would break completely, because they know that isolation is one of their most powerful tools. A person who is cut off from love, from community, from connection, is a person who is far more vulnerable to their attacks. They wanted to drive wedges. They wanted to create silence where there should be conversation, bitterness where there should be forgiveness, walls where there should be bridges. They spoke about your finances. They looked at every bill, every debt, every number that keeps you up at night. They were not just aware of your financial pressure, they were the architects of some of it. And they spoke with confidence about how the financial weight would eventually crush your faith, because they have seen it work before. They have seen people who loved me deeply begin to doubt my goodness when the money did not come. They were counting on the same thing happening to you. And then, and this is the part I need you to receive very carefully, they spoke about your future. They spoke about the plans I have for you. They spoke about the doors that are about to open, the provision that is already on its way, the relationships of destiny that are being positioned for you, the assignment I have written on your life before the foundation of the world. They spoke about these things not with fear, but with desperate urgency, because their entire strategy was designed to stop you before you walked through the door they cannot lock once you are on the other side of it. My dear daughter, they are not having casual conversations about you. This is not careless opposition. This is focused, deliberate, strategic darkness aimed at one specific target. And that target is you. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand that you are not being attacked because you are weak? You are being targeted because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You are being watched because there is something in you and on you and ahead of you that they cannot afford to let happen. I heard every word, and every word they spoke about bringing you down became fuel in my hand for lifting you higher. Place your hand over your heart right now and declare out loud, I am not the victim of this attack. I am the reason heaven is moving on my behalf. God heard every word, and He is already answering. Say it like you mean it. Say it like the truth it is. Because the moment you declare that, the moment your mouth agrees with what I have already decided, something shifts. The spiritual atmosphere around you changes. The words spoken against you in the darkness begin to lose their power in the light of what I am speaking over you right now. They had their conversation. I am now having mine, and mine is the one that counts. Type in the comments, God heard every word, and He is fighting for me. My dear son, I want to take you somewhere right now. I want to pull back the curtain between the visible world and the invisible one and let you see what I see when I look at your life. Because if you could see what I see, if your eyes could be opened to the spiritual reality that surrounds you every single day, you would never walk through another moment of your life in fear again. You would never again feel alone. You would never again feel like you are fighting something invisible and losing. Right now, as you watch this video, you are not alone in this room, and I do not mean that in a frightening way. I mean it in the most powerful, most comforting, most overwhelming way your heart can receive. There are angelic beings stationed around you at this very moment, not small, gentle figures with soft wings. I'm talking about mighty warriors of heaven, powerful, armored, burning with the fire of my presence, standing in positions of strategic protection around your life. They are not there because you deserve it. They are there because I placed them there. They are there because I looked at what was being planned against you, and I responded by sending reinforcements that no darkness can overpower. The enemy has been watching you, but so have I, and what I have seen is not what they have seen. They see your failures, I see your faithfulness. They see your debts, I see your determination. They see the times you fell, I see the times you got back up. They see the door that closed in your face. I see the hallway I'm already walking you through towards something they cannot even comprehend. They have been watching you with eyes that calculate weakness. I've been watching you with eyes that see destiny. And what I see in you is so far beyond what they are trying to stop, that if you knew what I know, you would laugh at their strategy. My dear son, let me tell you specifically what I have been watching in your life. I have been watching the way you have kept going when you had every reason to stop. Do you know how many times you could have quit? Do you know how many mornings you woke up to the same pressure, the same struggle, the same unanswered prayers, and still chose to get out of bed and keep moving forward? I was watching every single one of those mornings. Heaven was not unaware. I was not absent. I was present in every moment that felt like nothing was happening, and I was working in ways that were invisible to your natural eyes, but very real in the spiritual realm. I've been watching the way you have loved people who did not always love you back. I've been watching the sacrifices you have made for your family that nobody saw, nobody applauded, nobody gave you credit for. The late nights, the extra hours at work to make sure your children had what they needed. The quiet prayers you prayed over your household when nobody was watching. The times you held your tongue when you could have spoken pain. The times you forgave when forgiveness was the hardest thing you had ever been asked to do. I saw all of it. Every bit of it is written in heaven. Every act of faithfulness has been recorded and will be rewarded. I have been watching what is on the inside of you. The gifts I placed there before you were born, the calling that stirs in your spirit even when you do not fully understand it, the compassion, the courage, the creativity, the hunger for something greater that the world around you sometimes does not understand. I designed all of it, and I designed it for a purpose that is still ahead of you, not behind you. Do not let anyone, not the enemy's whispers, not your own discouragement, not the opinions of people who cannot see what I see, convince you that your best days are past. They are not. They are in front of you, and they are closer than you think. Now let me show you something else that I have been watching. I have been watching the enemy watch you. I have been watching the forces of darkness observe your life with calculating eyes, and I have been monitoring their monitoring. I know every move they are planning before they make it. I know every trap they have set before you step near it. I know every lie they intend to speak into your mind before the thought even begins to form. This is why I am speaking to you today, before the attack can land, so that you are not caught off guard, so that you walk forward in the full armor of awareness, knowing that nothing comes to you that has not first passed through my hands and been turned into an opportunity for your advancement. They think they have the element of surprise. They do not. I do. Stand up right now, wherever you are, and say out loud, I am covered. I am watched over. The God who never sleeps is my protector and my keeper. Every trap set for me becomes a stepping stone beneath my feet. Declare it over your home. Declare it over your family. Declare it in the direction of every force that has been strategizing against your peace, your provision, and your purpose. Because the watchers of darkness do not have the final word about your life. I do, and I am watching. And what I see is a future so full of blessing that the conversation they had last night about stopping you is already obsolete. Type in the comments, God is watching over me. I am not afraid. My dear daughter, there is something specific I want to reveal to you in this chapter. I want to tell you what it was, what exact thing happened in the conversation last night that caused me to step in with the level of intervention that I am releasing over your life today. Because I want you to understand that my response to what was spoken against you is not a passive general blessing. It is a targeted, direct, deliberate intervention. And it was triggered by something very specific. In the spiritual realm, there are levels of authority and urgency. Not everything that the forces of darkness say or attempt rises to the level that demands my immediate, direct, personal response. There are times when I allow my angels to handle the opposition as a matter of course, as part of the natural protection that surrounds every person who belongs to me. But there are other moments when the darkness escalates its strategy to a level that crosses a line. And in those moments, I do not merely send angels, I move myself. Last night crossed that line. What was said about you, what was planned against you, went beyond ordinary opposition. The conversation that took place in the spiritual realm was not just about slowing you down or causing you temporary difficulty. What was discussed was an attempt to cut off your destiny at its root. An attempt to reach so deep into your life, into your mind, into your relationships, into your finances, into your faith, that the damage would be so profound and so layered that recovery would feel impossible. They plan to attack your mind first, not with one overwhelming assault, but with a slow, steady drip of thoughts designed to poison your belief in yourself, your belief in my goodness, and your belief in the future I have prepared for you. Thoughts like, this is too hard for you. You are not smart enough. You have made too many mistakes. People who started where you started don't end up where you're dreaming of going. God's blessings are for other people, not for someone like you. They were not going to yell these lies. They were going to whisper them over and over until they sounded like your own thoughts. Until you stopped fighting them and started agreeing with them. They planned to attack your relationships simultaneously, strategic division, misunderstandings that would be just significant enough to create real emotional distance between you and the people who love you and support you the most. Because they know that a person who is isolated is a person who is weakened. They wanted to strip away your support system one relationship at a time, leaving you standing alone, facing the pressure of your life without the community of love that I designed you to be surrounded by, and they planned to attack your hope. This was the most critical part of their strategy, because hope is what keeps a person moving forward when everything around them looks like a reason to stop. Hope is what makes you pray when prayer feels unanswered. Hope is what makes you get up when the weight of life says, stay down. They wanted to systematically dismantle your hope through delayed blessings, through closed doors, through the silence that sometimes comes before the miracle, until you reached a place of spiritual exhaustion so deep that you would simply stop believing that anything was going to change. That was the plan. That was the conversation. And the moment I heard it, the moment I saw the full scope of what was being organized against one of my children, I intervened. My dear daughter, I want you to understand what my intervention looks like. It is not subtle. When I decide to move on behalf of someone I love, heaven mobilizes. Angels who were already stationed around your life received new orders. Reinforcements that were in reserve were deployed to your borders. The spiritual atmosphere around your home, around your workplace, around every space you occupy, began to shift in the invisible realm. And you are going to feel those shifts in the visible realm very soon. But my intervention also included this moment, this video, this message, because one of the most powerful weapons I have against the enemy's strategy is truth. When I speak truth directly into your spirit, when I pull back the curtain and show you what is actually happening and why, I remove the enemy's most important weapon, which is your ignorance of his strategy. You cannot be ambushed by something you can see coming, and now you can see it coming. I need you to do something right now. Close your eyes for just a moment. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat, that heartbeat that I sustain with every breath, and say these words: Father, I receive your intervention. I am not going to be destroyed by what was planned against me. I am not going to be slow-walked into hopelessness. I see the enemy's strategy and I reject it completely. I choose to trust you. I choose to stand. I choose to believe that everything you have spoken over my life is true and is coming, and nothing spoken in the darkness can stop it. Say that declaration over your life today. Say it tomorrow. Say it every time the whisper starts. Because the whisper is going to come. But now you know what it is. Now you know where it comes from. And now you are equipped to answer it with the truth I am speaking over you right now. The conversation they had was serious. My response is more serious. They planned your downfall. I planned your elevation. And heaven always wins. Type in the comments, your plan for me cannot be stopped. I receive your intervention now. My dear son, I want to lay two things side by side in this chapter. I want you to see them clearly, not to frighten you, but to give you the kind of unshakable confidence that comes from understanding just how completely and how permanently I have overruled everything that was spoken against you. On one side, what the enemy planned. On the other side, what I have already decided. And I want you to understand, by the time we finish this chapter, that there is no comparison. There is no contest. There is no version of this story in which their plan beats my decision, because their plans are built on sand, and my decisions are built on a foundation that existed before the universe was spoken into being. Here is what they planned for your finances. They planned for the pressure to increase just enough, consistently enough, that you would eventually make decisions out of desperation rather than wisdom. They know that financial pressure, sustained financial pressure, distorts thinking. It makes people reach for the wrong things, trust the wrong people, make choices they would never make from a place of peace. They were engineering conditions designed to force you into a desperate move that would set you back years. They planned for your breakthrough to be replaced by a breakdown. But here is what I have already decided about your finances. I have decided that provision is coming to you from a direction you have not considered. I have decided that a door is about to open that you did not knock on. A connection is about to be made that you did not engineer. An opportunity is about to present itself that carries the fingerprints of my planning all over it. I have decided that the financial weight you have been carrying is not your permanent condition. It is a temporary pressure that I have already assigned an expiration date to. The breakthrough is not something you have to convince me to send. I have already sent it. It is already in motion. The only question is whether you are going to receive it with open hands, or whether the enemy is going to succeed in making you close your hands in hopelessness before it arrives. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart expectant. The provision is on its way. Here is what they planned for your health. They planned for fear to be your constant companion. Fear about your body, fear about the future, fear about what might be wrong that hasn't been found yet. They know that fear is a thief. Fear steals sleep, steals peace, steals energy, steals the ability to enjoy the life I have given you right now, in this moment. They wanted fear about your physical well-being to become so loud and so constant that it would drown out every other voice, including mine. But here is what I have already decided about your health. I am Jehovah Rapha. I am the Lord your healer, and that name is not historical. It is present tense. It is active. It is personal. I have decided that my healing power is available to your body right now. I have decided that what has been attacking your physical health does not have my permission to advance. I have decided that restoration, complete, wholeness, full-bodied restoration is my will for you. And what I decide regarding your body takes authority over everything the enemy has planted or planned. Place your hand on your body right now, wherever you feel the pain, wherever you feel the weakness, wherever fear has been speaking loudest, and say, Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals, is my healer. This body belongs to him. Healing is my covenant right, and I receive it now. Here is what they planned for your family. They planned for relationships that I designed to be your greatest strength, to become your greatest source of pain. They planned for misunderstanding to pile on top of misunderstanding, for wounds to go unhealed, for distance to grow where there should be closeness. They planned for your household to become a place of tension rather than a place of refuge, because they know that when your home is in chaos, your spirit is weakened and your focus is scattered, and your ability to walk in what I have called you to is severely compromised. But here is what I have already decided about your family. I have decided that the enemy does not have authority over the people under your roof. I have decided that the relationships he has tried to break are going to be healed, some of them in ways you are not expecting, through conversations that you cannot foresee, through moments of grace that I am going to engineer in your household. I have decided that your home is going to be a place of peace, not a perfect peace, because you are human and family is complex, but a genuine, deep-rooted peace that cannot be shaken by every storm the enemy tries to stir up. And here is what they planned for your purpose. They planned for you to die with your calling still inside you, to reach the end of your life, never having stepped fully into the assignment I designed you to carry. They planned for distraction, for delay, for discouragement to conspire together until the dream I placed in your heart felt so distant, so impossible, so embarrassing to still believe in that you would quietly set it aside and never pick it up again. This was perhaps their most devastating plan, because a life lived outside of purpose is a life that never reached its full expression of who I made you to be. But here is what I have already decided about your purpose. I decided before the foundation of the world what you were built for. I decided what gifts to place in you, what doors to open before you, what people to position in your path, what assignments to write on your life. And I do not take those decisions back. Romans 11:29. My gifts and my calling are irrevocable. They cannot be recalled. They cannot expire. They cannot be stolen. The calling on your life is still active. The assignment is still yours. The dream is still alive. And what I am about to do in your life is going to make it impossible for you to keep pretending that it isn't. My dear son, everything they planned, I have overruled. Every scheme they devised, I have dismantled. Every strategy they spent last night discussing, I heard, and I have already countered with something they cannot comprehend, because they cannot think the thoughts I think, they cannot reach the heights I move in, and they cannot write an ending for your story. Only I can write that ending, and I have already written it, and it is good. Type in the comments. What God decided about my life cannot be undone. I believe it. My dear daughter, the title of this video says that a final warning has been issued. And now I want to tell you exactly what that means, because the warning is real It is serious, and it changes everything about how you walk forward from this day. The final warning was not issued to you, it was issued by me to them. Let me explain what a final warning in the spiritual realm means, because this is a moment of revelation that I need you to fully grasp. There are times, there are seasons in the life of a person who belongs to me, when the opposition against them reaches such a level that I step in with a declaration that functions like a boundary marker in the spirit, a line drawn in the heavens, a decree that goes out from my throne and reverberates through every level of the spiritual realm, from the heights of angelic authority to the depths of every dark force that has set itself against you. That decree is a final warning. And it says this, clearly, loudly, with all the authority of the God who created heaven and earth, you have gone far enough. You have pressed against this child of mine for the last time. The access you believed you had is hereby revoked. The doors you thought were open to you are now sealed. The plans you finalized last night are now null and void. Step back. Retreat. Because what you are about to encounter if you advance one more inch is the full, unrestrained, personally engaged force of the God of all creation. And that is not a battle you can survive. That warning went out last night. That is what final warning means in this title. My dear daughter, I need you to feel the weight of this. The forces that had a serious conversation about you last night, the forces that thought they had identified your vulnerabilities and designed a strategy to exploit them, received a direct communication from heaven in response to that conversation. And the communication was not a gentle suggestion, it was a divine ultimatum. And it came with the full authority of my name, my throne, and my eternal covenant with you. Now let me show you what happens when I issue that kind of warning. The angels around you were repositioned. There are warriors of heaven who were already guarding your life. But when I issued the final warning, their posture changed. They moved from the position of watchful protection to the position of active, aggressive, forward-facing warfare. There is a difference between an angel standing guard and an angel who has been given permission to push back, to advance, to drive out, to seal borders and fortify positions. The angels around your life today are not in the same position they were in yesterday. They have been authorized to move on your behalf in ways that are going to produce visible, tangible results in the natural world you walk through every day. The atmosphere around your life is shifting. I want you to pay attention in the coming days because you are going to notice things, small things at first, then bigger things, a sense of peace that settles over your home that doesn't have a natural explanation, a heaviness that has been sitting on your chest beginning to lift, clarity in areas where there has been confusion, a sense that something has changed, that the spiritual weather around your life is different, cleaner, lighter, more open. These are the signs of what I am doing in the invisible realm made visible in the realm you live in. The people who were weaponized against you are going to find that their weapons no longer work the way they expected. This does not mean I will destroy them, because I love every person, even those who have been used against you. But it means that the assignments against you that were flowing through those people are going to be broken. Some of those people are going to change. They are going to experience something that softens them, shifts them, causes them to reconsider how they have been treating you. Others are simply going to be moved out of a position of influence over your life. The way it happens will vary. The result will not. You are going to find that the people who had the most power to harm you are losing that power, and you are not the one removing it. I am. And the doors that the enemy tried to close against you, the opportunities that seem to disappear, the connections that seem to break, the resources that seem to dry up, I am going to reopen them, not all of them, because not all of them were the right doors for you to begin with. But the ones I ordained for your path, the ones that were shut down by enemy interference rather than by my redirection, Those are being reopened. And when they open, they are going to open in a way that is unmistakably supernatural, so that you and everyone watching your life will know without question that what happened to you was not luck, not coincidence, not the result of your own cleverness or timing. It was me. It was my final warning bearing fruit in your life. It was heaven fighting for the child I love. Right now, I want you to lift your hands wherever you are, in your car, in your bedroom, in your living room, and say out loud, Lord, I receive the fruit of your final warning over my life. I receive the shift. I receive the repositioned angels. I receive the open doors. I receive everything you declared over me from your throne. In Jesus' name, it is done. Say it with authority. Say it with the full knowledge that you are not begging for something uncertain. You are receiving something that has already been declared. The final warning has been issued. Now, receive the victory that follows it. Type in the comments, the final warning was not for me, it was for my enemies. I walk free. Right here, right in the middle of this message, I want to pause and ask you to do something important. If this word is speaking to your heart today, share this video right now with someone who needs to hear it. A family member who is struggling, a friend who has been under attack, someone you know who needs to be reminded that God is fighting for them. Click share and send it to them right now. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because messages like this one are going to keep coming, and you do not want to miss a single one. Like this video, and let's keep going, because there is still more that God wants to say to you. My dear son, in this chapter, I'm going to do something that goes beyond words. I'm going to make a declaration, a covenant declaration, over your name, over the place where you live, and over every person who carries your love in their heart. And I want you to receive every word of it, not as a nice sentiment, but as a legally binding spiritual reality, spoken by the God whose word created the universe and whose promises never return to him empty. Your name. From this moment forward, your name is sealed in heaven. I am not speaking in metaphor. Every human being who is born carries with them an identity that exists in the natural world and an identity that exists in the spiritual world. The spiritual identity, the one inscribed in heaven, carries authority over the natural one. And tonight, I am rewriting what your name means in the spiritual realm. The enemy thought he had authority to speak your name in the context of defeat, in the context of failure, in the context of a life that would never reach its potential. He thought he could define you by your worst moments, your heaviest seasons, your most painful chapters. He was wrong. Your name is inscribed on my heart. Your name is known in heaven, not by your failures, but by your faith, not by your mistakes, but by my mercy, not by what you have done wrong, but by what my Son did right. On a cross, 2,000 years ago, and what that sacrifice made you, righteous, redeemed, restored, a son, a daughter, an heir, a citizen of a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and a family that cannot be broken. When your name is spoken in the spiritual realm from this day forward, it goes out with the weight of my protection attached to it. Anyone, any force, any power, any assignment that speaks your name in the context of harm is going to encounter that weight. They are going to find that the name they thought they had permission to touch is surrounded by something they did not account for. The fire of my presence, the authority of my covenant, the shield of my eternal love. Your name is sealed. Receive it. Your home. I'm sending angels right now to every corner of the place where you live. I want you to picture it. Every room, every hallway, every door, every window. I want you to see in the eyes of your spirit what I am doing in the invisible realm around your physical space. I am sealing it. I am placing a spiritual seal over your home that functions like the blood on the doorposts of the Israelites in Egypt. A mark that tells every force of darkness, this house is under divine protection. Pass over. You have no authority here. The peace of my presence is being released into the walls of your home right now. The anxiety that has been living in the air of your house, the tension that has settled into the rooms, the fear that has been hiding in the corners, I'm driving it out and replacing it with my shalom. Not just the absence of conflict, but the active, living, powerful presence of my wholeness. Your home is going to feel different. The people who walk through your door are going to feel it. They might not be able to name it, but they are going to sense that something in this house is different, that there is a peace here that doesn't have a natural explanation. I am also sealing the relationships within your home, the bonds between you and the people you love who share your space. I'm reinforcing them with a spiritual strength that makes them resistant to the enemy's interference. The strategies that were designed to create division in your household are being neutralized. I'm creating an atmosphere in your home where honest conversation flows more easily, where forgiveness comes more quickly, where love finds expression in ways that might have felt difficult or distant for a while. This is not going to happen through your effort alone. It is going to happen because I am moving in the spiritual environment of your home and changing the conditions that make unity possible. Walk through every room of your home today and say out loud, "This home belongs to God. Peace reigns here. My family is covered. No weapon formed against this household shall prosper. This is holy ground." Everyone you love, my dear son, I know who they are. I know every face that comes to your mind when you think about the word love. The children you would do anything for, the partner you have built your life beside, the parents who are aging and whose health concerns you in the night, the friends who have walked through seasons of life with you, the siblings, the relatives, the people who are woven into the fabric of who you are. I know every one of them, and I want you to know I love them too. Not because they belong to you, but because they belong to me. Every person you love was created by me, known by me, valued by me before you ever met them. And because I love you and I love them, what I am doing in your life today extends to them. The protection I am placing over your name extends to the names connected to yours. The sealing I am placing over your home extends to the people who are covered by your prayers. This is one of the most powerful truths I want you to receive. Your intercession matters. When you pray for the people you love, when you lift their names before my throne, you are extending the covering of your faith over their lives. And right now, in this moment, as you watch this message, you are praying. You may not have used the words, but the act of seeking me, the act of sitting in this moment and receiving what I am saying, is an act of faith that covers everyone connected to you. I am surrounding them right now. I am placing walls of fire around every person you named in your heart when I described who you love. Angels are being assigned to them. Doors of harm are being closed around them. The assignments that were designed to touch them, to reach them through vulnerability, through health challenges, through financial pressure, through the wrong relationships. Those assignments are being cancelled at the spiritual level before they can fully manifest in the natural level. Nobody you love is outside of my reach. Nobody you love is too far gone. Nobody you love is past the point of my intervention. I am the God who leaves the 99 to go after the one. And every single person on the list of names written on your heart today is being pursued by my love, my mercy, and my restoring power. Type in the comments, "Lord, seal my name, my home, and everyone I love. I trust you with all of it."